I'm glad to see that you are using your Google Classroom account today. Today is Friday. We will be working on Chapter 11, Lesson 4. Before we get started, you might have noticed that Miss Kay is joining us on our Google Classroom account, and she will also be joining us on our Zoom accounts on Mondays at 1 p.m. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you and Miss Kay Monday at 1. We're going to do something a little bit different this week. I'm going to break you off into groups and we're going to talk about some of our classwork. So I hope to see everybody on Zoom on Monday. So shout out to Miss Kay. Happy that she's here with us now that we're doing our long distance learning. So let's get started. I'm going to open up my document camera here and I'm going to also read here for you. The weight of an object is a measure of how heavy it is. Ounces and pounds are examples of units of measurement for weight. Okay, so let's go over here and look at my notes. We're working on Chapter 11, Lesson 4 today, pages 819 and 812, estimate measuring weights. So today we're going to use ounces. It's also abbreviated as OZ. And pounds, you'll see the abbreviation LB. Anytime you see OZ, that means we're measuring the weight in ounces of an object, or LBs, we're measuring the weight of an object in pounds. So we're going to do estimating today. Remember, estimate means an educated guess. So I'm going to give you a hint. When measuring weight, people use ounces when measuring food like cherries or grapes, a few at a time, something that's very light in weight. When measuring heavier objects or portions, we use pounds. For example, if you wanted to see how much a pet weighs, like a dog or a cat, you're going to probably use pounds. Okay? So let's look at our math page right here. We are going to use a table to estimate how much something actually weighs. We're going to use an eraser, a glue bottle, a math book, and a pencil. Now, since we're not in the classroom and we can't actually do it physically together, I'm going to make the educated guess for us. So when we look at an eraser, let me open up the camera again. An eraser, we know an eraser is pretty light, a pretty light object. I'm going to guess that it's less than a pound, and it's probably somewhere about 5 ounces. Okay. And then a glue bottle. Glue bottle's heavier than an eraser. If it's full, we might want to say that it's a little bit heavier than an eraser. Maybe it's a pound. A math book is about 4 pounds. And a pencil is very light. It's lighter than an eraser. I'm going to say it's about 2 ounces. Okay. Now, I would have normally, if we were in class, asked all of the boys and girls in the class to go ahead and estimate with me. Since we're not there, I just threw some numbers on the paper for us. We're going to look at what an eraser actually weighs. An eraser actually weighs 1.9 ounces. It's much less than my estimation. A glue bottle full is less than a pound. It's actually 8 ounces. And a math book is close to 4 pounds. It's 3.5 pounds. That's actually 3.5 pounds also. And a pencil is an ounce. A pencil is the lightest one, and a math book is the heaviest one. And I'm sure you figure that out on your own, because estimating is really just an educated guess. So let's go back over here to number 2. What we would have done if we were in the classroom was measure the weight of objects by placing an eraser on one side of a balance and ounce weights or pound weights on the other side of the balance. So we would have put maybe an eraser in here, and then we would have put ounce weights and pound weights on the other side, and to kind of level it off to see how much it actually weighed. Okay. So we can't do that today, but I gave you the answers, so you should be okay. So we're going to go ahead, we're going to move on to the next page in our math book, and we're going to try it. Hold on, let's see. Here we go. Let's try this out. All right. So we would have placed a 1 pound weight on one side of the balance. And we would have placed a 1 ounce weight on the opposite side to see how many ounces there are in a pound. We would have continued until we figured out how many ounces make up a pound. We are not in the class today and we cannot do that, but I will tell you that 1 pound is 16 ounces. So this is something that you will have to remember for chapter 11, is that 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces and 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. So if I know that 1 pound is 16 ounces, how do I figure out how many ounces are in 2 pounds? What is the equivalent of 2 pounds in ounces? What I would do is I would just double the 16, or 16 times 2. 16 times 2 is 32. If I wanted to see how many pounds 32 ounces is, I would just divide 32 by 16 and I would get 2. So you can convert back and forth. Okay, so to figure out 3 pounds, I would do 3 times 16, which is 48. And to find 4 pounds, the equivalent in ounces, 4 times 16 is 64. You can go back and refer to these notes if you're taking notes with me today to help you figure out the problems on the next pages. Okay? So you should have filled that out right here. Now we're going to talk about it. If we were to order the 4 objects that we weighed from the activity before, the one that we weren't able to do in real time, we would put them in order from greatest to least in weight. So I know that if I look at pound, this is my estimation. If I look at the ounces or pounds here, I know that pounds are more than ounces. And here I know that 3.5 pounds is the heaviest object. So for number 1, I would write math book first. The next heaviest object would be the glue bottle. And following the glue bottle is the eraser and pencil. So here on number 1, you should have math book, glue bottle, eraser, and pencil. Okay, moving on to number 2. We found the answers because I actually gave them to you, but normally we would have weighed them together. So you could write here, Mrs. Garcia gave me the answers, or we pretended to weigh them together. And down here at the bottom for number 3, write a sentence that describes the relationship that is usually found between an object's size and weight. So usually the larger an object is, the more that it weighs. Okay, so you already know that. That's pretty much common sense. Okay, so let me move on to your practice. This is a work that you are going to do on your own. All right, let me open up the document camera again. So we know that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. To compare weight, you'll need to convert ounces to pounds. All right. Number 4, this is something that I don't want you to do because it's not something that we can actually do in the classroom. So when you get to number 4 on your page, just disregard that. Let's go on to number 5 through 12. The way that you're going to do this is you're going to look 46 ounces. We're going to compare it to 3 pounds. How do you know if it's greater, less than, or equal to? Well, what you're going to have to do is, since we know that 16 ounces is 1 pound, you're going to compare the weights. You're going to convert ounces to pounds. To do this, divide ounces by 16. For example, look at number 5 on our page right here. We have 46 ounces. So we need to divide 46 by 16. I know that 2 times 6 is 12, and carry my 1, 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 more is 3. So 2 times 16 is 32. 46 minus 32 is 14. I'm going to put that in a form of a fraction. 14 will become my numerator, 16 will be my denominator, and now I have 2 and 14 sixteenths pounds, but I want to simplify it to 2 and 7/8 pounds. So it's close to 3 pounds, but not exactly. So 2 and 7/8 pounds is what? Is it less than, greater than, or equal to 3 pounds? I know that 2 pounds is less than 3 pounds, so it is less than 3 pounds. That is what you will have to do for numbers 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. You will divide the ounces by 16, and then you can compare. Once you've divided them by 16, you've turned them into pounds. You'll compare our 96 ounces when you convert it into pounds. Is it greater than or less than 6 pounds? Same thing for number 7. 130 ounces, convert that into pounds, and is that greater than or less than 8 pounds? On number 8, you have here once again ounces and pounds. Convert the ounces to pounds by dividing by 16 and see which is the larger number. Same thing for number 9, 10, 11, and 12. Find the ounces, divide all of those by 16, and compare your numbers. Okay? Hopefully that helps. Let's see what's on the next page. You're just going to have a few word problems. And when you see on the page that I've created for you on your Google Classroom, I'm going to put 2 arrows. I'm going to put an arrow facing the 1 pound and an arrow facing the 13 ounces. What you're going to do is you're going to click on one of the arrows and delete it. Delete the one that is the wrong answer. So your arrow is pointing to the right answer. You're going to do that for number 13 and 14. 15, you're going to answer in a complete sentence. 16, you'll have to do the same thing. You'll have to divide the ounces by 16, changing it to pounds. You're going to, once you've done your conversion, then you can compare the pounds. 17 and 18, you're just going to write about it. And if you saw that thing that just popped up, my computer's about to die. It was nice talking to you today. Hopefully these videos are helping you understand your math a little bit better. If you have any questions, I will meet with you on Monday. You can ask myself, Miss O'Connor, or Miss Kay. Hope to see you then. Bye.